You see, going from hell to heaven is nothing more than just a small understanding of how the Bible is actually interpreted by the elites that actually use it for actually, I would argue, the main purpose that the Bible was written for. You see, in the metaphysical slash the esoteric, which means the inner circle, point of view, the Bible can be read as a collection of allegories that tell you how your mind works in a relationship to how you can mold your reality, because that's your true nature. You have the ability to completely mold your entire reality and you don't even realize it. That's why they give you the exoteric version of the Bible, which is meant for basically the 99% of people, which is basically externalization of your power, that there's this some kind of an entity that is having anger tantrums somewhere in the sky, which we call God, and he says, oh, you get a Ferrari but you get cancer. And no, that's not how things work. And by the end of this video, you're gonna actually learn how you can leverage this to your fullest potential, and how you can basically transcend hell, and how you can basically go to heaven. Hell being a internal state of mind where your power is completely externalized to the outside world, and where nothing is going in your favor, where you're focusing on aspects of reality that don't serve you. And keep in mind, there's a very important key word over here: focusing, because that's actually what this is all about. Because there are no truths in reality other than what your subconscious mind accepts as true. Sure, the conscious mind still matters a lot, but it's mainly the subconscious mind that actually molds your reality to your liking. And when I say reality, I mean actually the physical world, or 3D reality, or the universe, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing, just expressed through different schools of thought. And yeah, whatever you focus on will become a reality. And that is not an exaggeration, because where focus flows, oh, sorry, where focus goes, energy flows. And anything that has a huge energetic charge will eventually become a reality in the physical world. It's just that the physical world is way more stable than, for example, the mental realm and the spiritual realm, where things change constantly. But yeah, and I saw this perfectly a couple of weeks ago as I had my final car drive, with the policeman and with the instructor to see if I was actually worthy of passing and actually getting my driver's license. I saw this beautifully, because as I was waiting there was this one guy, and no offense to him, he was a really nice individual, of course, and we talked a lot actually, and he then started ranting about how last time when he had this car ride, he got this like very shitty woman that was like very mean to him, and she took him to this like intersection, this like traffic roundabout that wasn't even marked properly, and he didn't pass, and all of these things. And I just couldn't help myself but to think that, yeah, you're focusing on hell, and you're just focusing on aspects of your reality that don't serve you. And I don't blame them, because 85% of individuals all across the world never pass the 200 mark, as you can see on the map of consciousness that I showed to you a couple of minutes earlier. They will never be able to actually be aware of the true nature of reality, which is basically the universe reacts to you. You don't react to the universe reacts to you. More importantly, it reacts to your internal state of mind. And guess what? Since I've been teaching this manifestation stuff for some time now, and I've gotten pretty good at it, I basically have the truth in my subconscious mind that the universe protects me, and that it always gives me the most effective and the best path towards any goal that I set for myself, that I internalize as normal within my subconscious mind. And the way that you do that is that you pick a mental thought, whether that is a visual image, whether that is a mental declaration, whether that is some kind of a sound, whether that is some kind of a scene, it doesn't matter. It just has to be a thought that can be repeated over and over again, like a TikTok, for example, if you want to say it like that. Then you need to get into a strong meditative state where you can focus on it perfectly, and then you allow yourself to get that emotion that you would feel upon attaining that desired reality. And then, once you're in there, in that emotional and in that mental state, you stay there for however long you need it. And you do that over and over again, each and every single day, until it becomes normal, like breathing. And you just stay in that frequency, in that vibrational state. And vibrations means mental and emotional state. Once you just stay in that normally, like breathing, for example, then it will eventually become a physical reality. And that's what happened over here, because when the instructor actually came, he was literally one of the nicest dudes ever. Like, of course, didn't he didn't do idle talk, he didn't do any of these things, and he just wanted to see how I would do. And so when it was actually my turn to have the car ride, it was one of the easiest car rides ever. Sure, my skill actually made a huge part in this, because if the policeman actually sees that you're doing quite well, then he won't bother you that much. And so I just finished the car ride in like 10 to 15 minutes. It was very easy and it went really fast. And it was all because of the truth that was held within my subconscious mind. And then the guy, the same guy that I mentioned earlier, came up to me and said, "Yeah, you got lucky that you got a good instructor. But since we already know, and since you've already discovered through this video the true nature of reality, which is that the universe is entirely mental, it reacts to your internal state. Because remember, before anything can exist physically, it must first exist vibrationally. And since the mental realm is the realm of cause, and the physical realm is the realm of effect, then what actually happened over here? Did I get lucky? Or did I get the good instructor? Because it was me. Let that sink in. The universe is entirely mental. That's the first hermetic law of the entire universe. And I know that you know this subconsciously, because we all actually know this. It's just that you forgot. Because think about it. Think about the times in your life when you thought of someone and then you just randomly met them, or they messaged you, or they called you out of nowhere. This happens all the time. And it's not a coincidence. Or for example, when you buy something nice, like a new car, for example, a BMW, then you start to see it everywhere. Yeah, I'm really sure that you actually know all of this. Because you don't see the world through your eyes, you see it through your frequency. And your frequency is basically your level of awareness. So basically, the things that are held within your subconscious mind will be attracted to you because you're focusing on them constantly and all the time. And so, now that you hopefully realize, hopefully you've been taking notes and hopefully you've been actually intaking this knowledge, now that you realize that you have the ability to go from hell, which is an internal state of mind where nothing serves you, and when you're focusing on aspects of reality that don't serve you and that you have no power over. And so then the logical option would just be to go from heaven, which is an opposite state of mind, where everything works out for you. And of course, I know that the physical change won't come instantly, but let me tell you this. And this is from my favorite manifestation teacher of all time, Nero Knowledge. Manifestation is internally shifting to a degree to which you are no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing your reality change. Internally shifting to a degree to which you are no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing your reality change. That's what it means. That's exactly what manifestation is. It all starts in the internal world. You shouldn't care about the physical world in the first place. All you need to do to control your reality is to control your inner world. You don't have to control anything else in the universe or in reality or in the third dimensional realm. All you need to do is to just control yourself. And when you enter heaven, when you actually adopt the mental and emotional state that serves you and that is reflective of whatever desired reality that you wish to have, whether that is making a nice amount of money, whether that is a romantic partner, whether that is a job promotion, whether that is, I don't know, like a black belt in karate, for example. It can be truly anything. Just pick a mental thought that is reflective of that desired reality, and then ask yourself what kind of an emotion you would feel upon attaining that desired reality. Mix them together, and then when you're in a nice meditative state, where you completely relax your entire body and all of your five physical senses, then focus on it all the time. And after some time, after you've drained the emotion that you think you would feel upon attaining that desired reality, then your subconscious mind will recognize it as a truth. And since energy is alignment, like I already said, where attention goes, energy flows, once that thought plus emotion gets enough energetic charge, then it will become a physical reality. All you need to do is just internalize it in your subconscious mind. And the things that your subconscious mind absolutely loves are things like realization. Oh, sorry, relaxation, you know, ease. So, not any discomfort or not any stress, you know, just complete and utter easiness when everything just flows naturally. And since emotion is the language of the subconscious mind, it means that your thoughts alone don't create reality, as there is a huge myth in the manifestation community regarding this. But no, your thoughts plus emotions create your reality. Because if you want your physical reality to change and your mental reality to change also, and your emotional reality also, then you absolutely need to get that thought into your subconscious mind. And you do it the best way by charging it with enough emotional charge in a state of complete and utter relaxation. And then once it gets into your subconscious mind, you won't even need to do you won't even need to do the technique in the first place. Everything will just fall in naturally. Like, you will have that mental and emotional state before the physical world can even prove it to you. And then your intuition will guide you towards people, places, circumstances, timings, and events that will actually get you towards your desired reality. And many people will say, oh, that you just got lucky, that you should be grateful that the universe was on your side, that you should be grateful that God decided to spare you this time. But no, you'll be actually internally laughing because they are the ones externalizing their power. Because you need to remember this: everything in the physical world that appears to be separate from you wants to hijack your internal state. It wants to hijack your frequency, and it wants to sway you emotionally. Because you need to remember this: what is emotion? It's energy in motion. And when the energy in motion gets enough, gets basically big enough, and it holds enough energy, it releases an energetic signature which we call vibration. And once that vibration gains momentum, it becomes a frequency. And frequency is another word for mind, consciousness, whatever. It's all the same thing. And as we already said, before anything can exist physically, it must first exist mentally. And since the mind is energy basically, then that means that every single frequency has to become a reality, meaning that you need to be it before the world proves it to you. And this is how you do it: by going into heaven without dying, of course, since I already gave you the esoteric definition of how the elites view heaven. And then you enter it and you give it to yourself unconditionally before the physical world proves it to you. And you give it to yourself enough until you get into a internal state where you don't even need to feel it anymore, where you find it completely normal, as a table that is in your living room, for example, as this wall that is over here right now is just there. I don't desire it. I don't obsess about it. I just view it as something that is just standing over here. And that's exactly how you should view your desired reality. You should just see it as something that just naturally happens in your day to day world. You should see that the romantic partner as something that is just normal, that income as something that just happens. In fact, you should even kind of neglect it if I'm being honest. Like, sure, be grateful for it once in a while, but neglect it. Like, of course, it is a true blessing that I'm healthy and that I have four limbs and that I wasn't born with any harsh illness, of course. But it is not something that I'm grateful for and that I obsess about it every single day. Like, that's just not something that just happens, you know. And cutting back to what I wanted to say, everything in the physical world will want to sway you emotionally. Because everything is consciousness. Consciousness is the substance of reality. Everything is conscious and it wants to affect you. But you need to realize that the strongest frequency always wins. And the strength of a frequency is determined by how clear it is. Meaning that the clearer your mental and emotional state is, the stronger your frequency will become. And then the higher chance of it becoming a physical reality will be heightened. But don't become obsessed with trying to make it a physical reality. Get obsessed with finding it normal before the physical world proves it to you. Already find it normal before the physical world proves it to you, and then your new internal state will signal to the universe something very weird and something very new. The universe will quite literally think to itself, wait, what the fuck? What do you mean that they already have it, but physically they don't? Hold on, let's fix that. Let's fix that. And it will just unravel perfectly. But first, you need to enter heaven to do that. Because in the internal state of heaven, everything flows naturally. And of course, you still need to take physical action. I'm not saying that you should just sit on your couch and meditate for 12 hours every single day and that income will just drop out of the sky or whatever. No, that's not how this works. You still need to take physical action. But that doesn't mean that that physical action has to be painful or unnecessary, of course. It's very necessary. But of course, it doesn't have to be hard, but it doesn't have to be very easy too. You still need to take some action, but it doesn't have to be to a degree to which you feel pain. Whether that is mental or emotional, that doesn't matter. And even that work that you will do, you'll find it as something completely normal. You won't even find it as anything difficult in the first place, right? And yeah, I guess that's it. That's everything that I wanted to tell you. So, remember this. Hell and heaven are actually internal states, and they are not some kind of locations that you enter after dying. You can access them right now. Hell is an internal state where nothing works out for you, and when you focus on aspects of reality that don't serve you. And heaven is an internal state where everything works out for you because you are aware of your role in this reality, which is basically being God in quotation marks, that whatever you focus on, whether that is consciously or subconsciously, becomes your reality, and you can bend this to your liking by putting the right mental and emotional by putting the right thoughts that are charged with the right emotion into your subconscious mind, and then they will become a reality, which is basically being aware of the true nature of reality, which is internalization of your power instead of externalizing it. Never allow anything physical to sway your emotional state because it is always trying to change your internal state. But of course, reality is just a delayed creation of your internal state, and you need to remember that, and then everything will work out for you. And yeah, I guess that's it. So, if you are very interested in this manifestation stuff, then you can check out my course, Timeless Reader's Mindsets. It is something that you can just buy after you've grown to like me, but no pressure, of course. I guess it can truly help you, but if you just watch my videos, then trust me, you'll be more than fine. It is just something that if you grow to like me, then you can purchase it. And so yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, and remember, no one is better at being you